Hi, welcome to Echo Studio. So this is our authoring tool. It's web-based, it's free, and it's all yours. We're totally amped to see what you come up with. Here are the topics we will cover. We're going to teach you how to build your project. This will get you started and teach you the following things. Once your project is built, you'll want to jazz it up by designing the interface. Here, you'll learn the following topics. Put the final touches on by fine-tuning your project. And lastly, in order to show it off to the world, we'll show you how to publish your project. Okay, that's a lot, but don't worry, all those topics will be right up here in the top left corner. You can skip to any topic you want, or just watch from start to finish. If we mention anything you want more help with, you can always check out our user guide, located in the Profile menu on the top right corner of your screen. Yep, right here. Lastly, we have more tutorials that dive deeper into specific features. To get started, create an account or log in at echo.studio. Click New Project, give it a name, and press Start. Now you're ready to start creating. Importing media. This is the library, which contains all your video, audio, images, and more. Import or drag and drop your files to the library. Make sure to download our interlude uploader, which will make the upload faster. Remember, you cannot upload a video shorter than 2.5 seconds or longer than 30 minutes. Check out the user guide for all supported file types and export settings. Remember, since Echo Studio lives online, all your videos and assets are accessible from any computer. Nodes. This is your workspace, where your tree structure will live. A tree structure is made up of nodes and connections. A node is like a container for your video asset, and connections are like branches. The tree structure illustrates the flow of the project's interactive experience. Each node, except the opening and closing screens, should contain a video asset. A new project starts with 3 empty nodes. In order to fill the node with a video asset, drag one of your video files from the library into the specific node. When the node contains a video asset, a camera icon will appear in the node. There are several ways to create a new node. Shift-N on your keyboard, the plus sign icon in the Workspace toolset, or you can just drag a video asset from the library onto a blank spot in the workspace. You can also copy and paste your nodes using your regular copy-paste keyboard shortcuts. We call the first node the parent node, and all the choices that branch from it the child nodes. And while this tree is just one level deep, trees can grow to be as complex as your imagination will allow. Connections. Nodes are linked together using connections. These connections determine the possible pathways in your tree structure. To create a connection, press the plus icon. This connects a parent node to a child node. You can also drag a line between the parent node's plus sign to the desired child node. Notice that you can only connect a child node from its left side. The toolbar. The toolbar contains a number of useful tools. Drag the zoom slider to change the dimension of your nodes. Switch from your cursor to the hand tool to navigate around the workspace, or you can just hold down the spacebar key. In the View tab, you can select your view type. All of these are detailed in the user guide. New Parallel Node allows you to add a new independent parallel node with 4 channels. New Node allows you to create a new independent node. Both New Node and New Parallel Node create nodes that are independent of the rest of your tree structure, and you'll need to connect these to the rest of the project. And click the magnifying glass if you want to search for a specific node in your tree structure. Parallel nodes. This is the feature where you can create parallel video streams where the user can switch from one channel to another. One reason you might use parallel nodes is to switch perspectives between characters. You can convert existing nodes in the workspace into parallel nodes by selecting up to 4 nodes, right-clicking, and selecting Turn into Parallel Node. Preview. The Preview button allows you to see what you have done so far, and how your project will look both on desktop and mobile devices. You can watch a preview of your project before you publish it. If a node is missing a video asset, the authoring tool will insert a black screen placeholder during preview to indicate that the node requires assets. By default, preview starts at the beginning of the project. If you want to play from a specific location, just right-click on the node where you want to start and select Preview from a selected node. Node Editor. This is your first decision point, where the viewer decides what comes next. The node called Beginning will either branch into the node Pin or Hat. To edit this node, double-click it to open the Node Editor. The Node Editor is where you will create your buttons and determine the type of connections. In the video screen within the Node Editor are 2 handy markers. These in and out markers show the choice duration period. If you do not see your buttons, make sure your red playhead is within the choice duration period. Since the parent node is already connected to 2 separate child nodes, 2 buttons are automatically created for you. These 2 buttons are represented in the Elements tab. Node Editor. Elements. The Elements tab contains your buttons and timers within the selected node. Click the plus sign to create a new button. Click the hourglass to create a new timer. The eye icon is used to control a button or timer's visibility. Please note that when a button is hidden, it's not only invisible, but also it's unclickable. The lock icon locks an element layer, preventing it from being edited, moved, or selected. In the case that a user does not make a selection, you as the author can determine which button or node will be automatically chosen for them by starring an element. If more than one element has a blue star, the automatic selection will be randomized. Node Editor. Align, Arrange. Below the Elements section, you will find the Align and Arrange tabs. These tabs will assist you in maintaining a clean and organized user interface for your buttons. Grab a bunch of buttons at the same time and hit one of the Align and Arrange presets to check it out. Actions, Style, Transform, Buttons and Timers. If you have a button or timer selected, another section of the Node Editor will appear. In the Actions tab, you can choose which action will happen when a button is clicked. Graphic No Action. This allows you to include text or a graphic on the screen. This is not a clickable button. Select Node. This connects a node to any node in the workspace. You can select which node to connect to by selecting a node from the drop-down menu. You can choose to have the node connect on click, meaning the connection will be made the moment the user clicks a button, or on node end, in which the connection will be made only after the video segment in that specific node has played all the way through. One example of when you might want to have the node play all the way through is if your video relies on continuous music. By having the video play all the way through, your 2 nodes will connect seamlessly and will be unnoticeable to the users. The rest of the actions are pretty self-explanatory. You can go into more detailed descriptions in the user guide. Actions, Style, Transform, Buttons and Timers. In the Style tab, you'll find pre-designed buttons. You'll notice some of them, like this one, say text. These can be used as a graphic title tool. Actions, Style, Transform, Buttons and Timers. In the Transform tab, you can change the position, size, opacity, and rotation of your elements. Here's a pro tip. If you want to create transparent buttons, highlight the desired button and drag the opacity to 0. You might use transparent buttons if you want to click a specific object or face in your videos. Preview. The Share tab in the Preview monitor gives you a preview URL so that you can share your work in progress. You can send the preview URL to an email address by inserting the recipient and clicking Send. You can also make your preview private by checking the box and creating a password. And you can also use a QR scanner to open your project on mobile and preview it there. Design presets. If you want your specially designed buttons to be replicated in other nodes, simply press Save Preset. Give it a name. Then, when you click on another parent node, click Apply Preset, and it will automatically reload your customized buttons. Menu layer. You can access the menu layer below the library. The menu layer gives you a clickable menu that is visible throughout your entire project, like the one in this tutorial. You can choose to enable or disable the menu layer in each node. If not purposefully disabled, the menu layer will appear in every node. Similar to a DVD menu, a set of buttons are displayed that will help the user navigate the video experience more quickly. The menu layer has an on-off button and a pencil icon, which will open the menu layer editor. The menu layer is visible even outside the choice duration period, differentiating it from regular buttons. The square menu in the corner expands when you click on it. The buttons within the menu are like regular buttons. They can be renamed, change actions, and you can upload your own buttons. You can choose the animation of the menu. For example, you could have it slide right. You can choose if the menu's default appearance is expanded or collapsed. You can also change the style of the menu button in the Style tab. If you give a button within the menu an action, you can choose to collapse the menu on click. Check that out right here. Background soundtrack. To create a background soundtrack that will play during your video, just drag a WAV or MP3 file to the library and select it from the drop-down menu. You can adjust the volume of the soundtrack. You can also choose to fade in and out using the triangle buttons, and you can loop the track so it will continue until the end of the video. Click the mute button if you want to mute the sound coming from the video nodes and just hear the background soundtrack. Remember, if you choose to use a background soundtrack, it will be present in all your nodes. If you want it to happen in only some of your nodes, make sure you edit your music directly into your video assets. The background soundtrack feature will be handy in projects where you don't have music in the videos and want to have nodes connect on click. Publish. The Publish Manager is located at the top right corner of the authoring tool, next to Preview. Clicking the Publish button inside the Publish Manager publishes your project online. If for some reason your project doesn't give you the option to publish, make sure all your nodes are filled with videos and all your nodes have connections to the main tree structure. Just input your email address or any email address where you'd like to receive the notification, and you'll receive an email when your publish is updated. That email looks like this. While our publisher is hard at work, you can close the tab and wait for an email notification. This can take up to several hours, depending on the size of your project. But once you publish your project, publish updates are relatively short, so you can continue to make adjustments with quick publish results. Once the project is published, the manager will display your project status. Your projects can be embedded in websites or blogs, shared on Facebook, and viewed on mobile in the browser of Android and iOS. Once your project is published, the Publish Manager will include the Insights button, which will link you to the project's analytics. More information on that is located in the user guide. Publish settings. To access the Publish settings, click the small wrench icon next to the Publish Manager. When changing any of the Publish settings, you'll be asked to save and apply the change. Clicking this option will directly commit the change to your project and online video. Basic info is where you will input the title, author, descriptions, and tags for your projects. In the Privacy tab, choose a privacy setting to determine who can view your published project and where it can appear. In the Sharing tab, you can determine how the project will appear on social media. Using the right copy and image can help you make your project extra shareable. You got this. We know that was a lot. If you have more questions, remember the help guides are there for you. And you can always contact us if you need any help, advice, or just want to suggest more tutorials. Contact us at support@helloecho.com. So go for it. Just start creating.